All across the United States, something is piling up in basements, garages, recycling centers, dumps, and warehouses. It's not plastic, it's not paper, it's not food waste. It's old technology. Phones, laptops, TVs, chargers, headphones, printers, monitors, tablets, gaming consoles, routers, and smart home gadgets. America's e-waste mountain is growing faster than ever before, and for the first time, experts are warning that the country may be heading toward a full-scale disposal crisis. So the question is, why is old tech piling up so fast, and what's pushing the U.S. into an e-waste problem unlike anything we've seen before? Let's start with the sheer scale of the issue. The average American household today owns more devices than at any point in history. Smartphones, laptops, tablets, smart speakers, watches, earbuds, gaming gear, and home automation gadgets. Almost everything around us has a chip in it now. But there's a problem. These devices don't last forever. Batteries wear out, screens crack, software updates break compatibility, parts become impossible to replace, and manufacturers keep pushing out new versions every year. As a result, consumers upgrade faster, and devices reach the end of life stage sooner. But here's the surprising part. Even though Americans are throwing out more tech than ever, much of it isn't actually being recycled. Instead, it's sitting in storage, clogging landfills, or being shipped overseas. Why? Because recycling electronics isn't nearly as simple as it sounds. Many gadgets contain a mix of metals, plastics, chemicals, batteries, and tiny components that require specialized facilities to dismantle. Most local recycling centers don't have the tools or certification to handle them safely. So what do people do? They keep old devices in drawers, they dump them in the trash, they leave them in closets and hope they'll deal with it later. Multiply that by hundreds of millions of households, and America's e-waste mountain keeps growing. But that's just one part of the story. Another major factor is planned obsolescence, a quiet trend where devices are built to have short lifespans, not intentionally broken but engineered in ways that make them difficult or expensive to repair. Think of smartphones with sealed batteries, laptops with non-replaceable keyboards, or headphones that die as soon as the battery stops holding a charge. These products often aren't designed to last 5 or 10 years. They're designed for upgrade cycles. This isn't just about convenience, it's a major driver of e-waste. When repairing something costs more than replacing it, most people choose to replace it. And the tech itself is changing faster than the recycling systems that support it. Take TVs, for example. Americans are upgrading to larger screens at record rates, 65-inch, 75-inch, even 85-inch, while older TVs become almost impossible to resell. Unlike phones, old TVs have virtually no resale value. They're bulky, expensive to transport, and often require a disposal fee, so they end up in landfills or abandoned in warehouses. Or consider smart home devices. When old security cameras, smart locks, or smart plugs stop receiving updates, many become unusable. They don't break physically, they break digitally. And because of that, millions of fully functional gadgets turn into e-waste overnight. Another major driver is the rise of subscriptions and ecosystems. When companies lock features behind software updates, devices become dependent on cloud systems. If those systems shut down, which has already happened with several smart home brands, the physical device becomes a brick. This creates a new kind of waste, perfectly working hardware that becomes useless because the software is discontinued. Now add one more layer. The U.S. lacks a unified national e-waste policy. Some states have strict recycling rules, others have none. Some require manufacturers to take back old devices, others don't. Some ban electronics from landfills, others still let them in. This patchwork system makes it nearly impossible to create efficient nationwide recycling programs. Manufacturers operate under different rules in different states. Consumers don't know the proper procedures, and recycling companies struggle to scale. Meanwhile, the volume keeps growing. Phones, chargers, monitors, keyboards, cables, smartwatches, tablets, old routers, broken headphones, outdated gaming systems, millions and millions of pieces of outdated tech, all adding to the pile. But this crisis isn't just about waste, it's also about lost materials. Electronics contain valuable components like copper, gold, lithium, cobalt, nickel, aluminum, and rare earth metals. Every time a device ends up in a landfill, those materials are permanently lost, even as the U.S. tries to reduce its dependence on foreign mineral supply chains. In other words, America is throwing away resources that it desperately needs, while simultaneously struggling to secure more. It's a long-term problem that grows with every discarded device. So why are automakers, smartphone companies, and electronics manufacturers finally paying attention? Because the pressure is rising. Consumers want longer-lasting devices. Environmental groups are demanding transparency. Lawmakers are proposing stricter recycling rules. And right-to-repair legislation is gaining momentum across the U.S. The New York, Minnesota, and California repair laws are early signs of a nationwide shift. These laws push companies to make devices easier to fix, which slows down the upgrade cycle and reduces EW waste. Major brands are responding. Some are offering refurbishing programs. Others are designing modular devices with easier battery access. And some are expanding trade-in systems so fewer products end up in the garbage. But the truth is, the problem is bigger than any single company or state. E-waste in America is growing because technology is growing faster than our ability to manage it. Every new gadget creates a future disposal challenge, and unless recycling and repair systems evolve at the same pace, the mountain will keep rising. So what happens next? We'll likely see more national pressure on manufacturers to design repairable devices, more trade-in and buyback programs across the U.S., more recycling standards and certifications, more penalties for dumping electronics, more investment in advanced recycling plants, and more companies shifting to modular designs that last longer. But the biggest change will come from consumer expectations. As awareness grows, Americans will demand devices that last longer, break less, and can be repaired instead of replaced. Because the old model, buy, use, throw away, simply isn't sustainable anymore. America's tech mountain is getting taller every year. Now the question is whether the country can reverse the trend before the pile becomes too big to contain.